watching out for you. This is NewsWatch 12 this morning.
Good morning. It's 6 a.m. on Friday, September 6th. Welcome to NewsWatch 12 this morning. I'm Damon Alvarado.
And I'm Brinkley Hill. Let's take a look at our current temperatures across the region. It's a nice morning out there. 64 in Medford, 61 in Grants Pass. We're seeing 50s along the coast as well as in Northern California, 40s for the basin. And let's go ahead and take a look at our highs for today here. It's going to be a hot day across the region, not quite as hot as what we saw yesterday. 101 in Grants Pass as well as Medford. And we're going to see some warmer temperatures across the region. As you head out to the bus stop this morning in the Klamath Basin, it's going to be in the 50s, very mild for our morning start this morning. But as you head home, it's going to be 90 degrees. There are some storm chances. But if you're lucky enough to be along the beach today, it's going to be sunny, 60s, a great day to hang out on the coast. And speaking of some of those high temperatures that we're seeing, Ashland's Cooling Shelter is open today. The shelter will be open from noon till 7 p.m. and it'll have cool water and restrooms. The weather shelter relies on volunteers to stay up and running. So if you're interested in volunteering, you can call that number on your screen. And the Medford Cooling Shelter is also open today. The shelter will be providing water, restrooms, and snacks. Individuals may come and go as they need.
The nonprofit Mint has a cooling shelter open through the weekend in Grants Pass. It is open 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Parker's Place on Redwood Highway in front of Bi-Mart.
Shady Cove is now in a state of emergency with hundreds without water. Officials say it's because of the failure of the Highland Water Company's intake pump. Several residents of Shady Cove reached out to NewsWatch 12 over the last few days, saying that they've been without water with little to no warning. And some locals are saying that they're leaning on each other while they wait for updates from the city and Highland Water.
NewsWatch 12's Leave column went to Shady Cove to talk to residents and tells us what water customers can expect as the week wraps up.
Shady Cove's mayor declaring a state of emergency Thursday with a failing water pump, leaving about 300 Highland Water customers without water entirely and impacting almost 1,000 Jackson County residents. The county has activated its Emergency Operations Center, continuing to secure drinking water from community partners and the state. Residents pitching in to help each other out.
The water we got today, we're probably going to give to our neighbors that have a hard time getting down here, so we've been doing that too. They help us and we help them, so great neighborhood that we live in. Everybody's helping each other, so it's a wonderful thing.
Highland Water saying Thursday evening they are, quote, committed to meeting the needs of affected customers. I asked them when the pump is set to be repaired and am waiting for an answer. Those with water access are still being asked to pitch in by following a boil water advisory. Water use is limited to essential services like cooking and cleaning. Jackson County Fire District 4 will continue to give out water through Sunday from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. or until full access is restored. In Shady Cove, Leave column, NewsWatch 12.
Their plans to lease nearly 20,000 acres of Oregon Ocean. Mayor Brookings says the spot chosen in Brookings is not ideal.
There's environmental concerns, commercial fishing and the impact it'll have on that industry, our tourism, which our community obviously relies on heavily. How will that be impacted, with these monstrosities out in the ocean?
I asked Mayor Hodges if he had heard any positive feedback from the community. He told me,
not one.
With so many unanswered questions, I reached out to Oregon Senator Ron Wyden about if he thought BOEM's process has aligned with the state so far. Wyden said Oregonians living and working on the coast expect far better from federal agencies than to get steamrolled from 3,000 miles away on decisions directly affecting their livelihoods. I will pull out all the stops to make sure that Oregonians' legitimate concerns about this hasty decision and the run-up to it receive complete and acceptable responses before any project goes forward. The move to clean energy is essential in the face of climate crisis, but abrupt and deeply flawed edicts like this do nothing to advance that move and in fact hurt it. The Bureau of Ocean Management has announced their plans to lease nearly 20,000 acres of Oregon ocean for these offshore windmills starting in October. Now, this red area right here is 32 miles off the coast of Coos Bay, and it's 61,000 acres. And now this lower area right here, this is 133,000 acres, 18 miles off the coast of Brookings. The Oregon Department of Energy has said that it wants to diversify its energy portfolio by creating a roadmap to have 3 gigawatts of offshore wind energy by 2030. Now, both these areas, if completely and fully developed, have the capacity to create 3.16 gigawatts of energy. Now, I have reached out to BOEM for a comment on these communities' concerns, but they have not gotten back to me yet.
In Josephine County, the Sheriff's Office is asking for your help finding a missing person. 41-year-old Cameron Don Corson was last seen on September 4th near Hackpick Road in Grants Pass. Anyone with information on her whereabouts are asked to call the number on your screen. Authorities believe Corson left the area on foot around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. She's 5'8" with brown hair and brown eyes.
This morning, a scam is continuing to affect Oregonians. There's been a resurgence in scam calls claiming to be from the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office says they're getting reports of people being called about missed court appearances, owed fines, or active warrants, with callers posing as sheriff's officials and asking for money.
Officials are wanting people to be vigilant, knowing scammers can fake their caller ID, use real sheriff's employee names, and get personal information online to seem real. Though they also want people to know scam tactics change over time. It's also important to know it is virtually impossible to track the scammers or get the money back. The Sheriff's Office says people should call them if they have any scam call concerns and never send any money or meet someone to make a payment.
In a community impact story, David's Chair is coming to Lithia Park next week. David's Chair is a nonprofit organization that provides electric all-terrain track chairs for people with mobility challenges so that they can access the great outdoors. The organization is debuting its first fixed site location in Southern Oregon to Lithia Park, with a demonstration happening September 18th. The Ashland Community Health Foundation provided the grant to purchase the chair for this program. David's chairs are free to use with reservations. And we're following up about a grant for Medford's airport this morning.
We're able to hear from one Jackson County commissioner about its future. Join us live from the airport is NewsWatch 12's Luke Doughton. Luke, the county and airport secured millions for this project.
That's right, Damien and Brinkley. I was able to talk to Jackson County Commissioner Colleen Roberts on Wednesday after they voted to secure that funding. Roberts is on the Airport Advisory Committee for the county and is really excited to see the airport expand. It's getting millions to put in a new taxiway, extend a current taxiway, and also make the airport apron a lot bigger. Roberts is excited and says parts of the airport are already out of space.
And gets people, in and out, efficiently keeps us in the marketplace where other airports that aren't adapting and growing are not.
The airport will be getting over $6 million in grants total, but the grant that was signed Wednesday, that was only $127,000, but what that did was it gave the county and the airport enough money to match a federal grant requirement to get those extra millions to really bring all this together and have enough money to make sure that they can do everything that they want. Later this hour, we'll hear more from Roberts about one specific reason why the airport needs to expand and what it's going to look like in the future. Live in Medford, Luke Doughton, NewsWatch 12.